Hello friends, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel and the second of our 6-part series with Scouted Football, taking a look at the players who are going to take over in 2022. If you are not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? This is the place to be, and this is the place to find out which players will be taking over in 2022. Also, if you want to win yourself a copy of this gorgeous Scouted Football handbook, then stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to be letting you know exactly how you can win one of 2 that are being given away in this video, and there's going to be 2 given away in every video. Let's get into it with the second player to be put forward by Scouted Football, Nico Schlotterbeck. So, who is Nico Schlotterbeck? Now, it's a name that you probably haven't heard of. He's fresh on the scene, let's say, but you're going to be hearing a lot more about him in 2022. He's a central defender. He plays for SC Freiburg in the Bundesliga, of course, and he's doing extremely well this season, as are Freiburg, who've only been beaten once so far this season by Bayern Munich. Surprise, surprise. But it's Schlotterbeck who has really impressed. Schlotterbeck came to Freiburg quite late, actually, 18, and then went to the second team and played in the third tier of German football before last season going on loan to Union Berlin and having a great season last season. Since coming back to Freiburg, he has established himself as the best player that they have. He's featured in the under-21 tournaments with Germany and even earned a senior call-up earlier in the year, and 2022 will be when he really takes off. Freiburg have a history of bringing through young players, and in particular goalkeepers and centre-backs, so Schlotterbeck is in good company. So far, you've seen the likes of Robin Koch and Kaglar Soyuncu move to the Premier League with Leeds United and Leicester City, respectively, but Schlotterbeck could viably move straight into a Champions League side in 2022. At 22, he's a couple of years younger than his brother, Kevin, and in the Scouted Handbook, Volume 12, John Mackenzie wrote this. With Schlotterbeck, the younger, now firmly ensconced in the Freiburg back line, it looks inevitable he too will follow a similar step up to his predecessors. So what kind of central defender is Schlotterbeck, and why will he take over in 2022? He seems to be good at everything you'd want from a centre-back, really. Certainly a modern centre-back. He's strong in the air, comfortable in possession. He's good at stepping into midfield and causing havoc for opposition tactics. He's a left-sided central defender in a back 3 at the moment. I mean, he is left-footed, which helps. He supports his wing-backs. Freiburg work set pieces really well, and Schlotterbeck gets a lot of opportunities from these situations. Not too dissimilar to Harry Maguire, although he has got that little bit more mobility maybe than Harry. Like Maguire, he's great at spraying passes into the midfield as well as carrying the ball into dangerous areas. Unlike Maguire, he's a little bit better at getting out of tight spaces and playing through pressure, which of course is getting more and more important as teams look to high press. Schlotterbeck's tall, he's leggy, he tackles well, he presses well, but he has only really kind of played in a back 3 at the top level so far. If you're advising him to make that move, then maybe you would want him to go to a side where he's going to continue to play in a back 3 on that left-hand side, or in a more dominant team that dominates the ball, so those weaknesses of being exposed in a back 2 are less exposed. There hasn't been too much coverage on Schlotterbeck in terms of sort of transfer rumours and being linked to move away. That said, as we spoke of earlier in the video, Freiburg have let those kind of players go. Again, that move from the Bundesliga, as we spoke about in the Wirtz video, from Bundesliga to the Premier League is a well-trodden avenue. And with his contract running only till 2023, Freiburg could well want to cash in the summer, because it looks like a player with his quality will be looking to make a move away, especially since he's become a German under-21 international and, of course, a senior international. During the summer, he was linked with a move to Stuttgart, but he's kind of outgrown that kind of move now. The only move he'd really want to be making is for European football so that he can get himself a seat on that plane for the Qatar World Cup. Freiburg typically sell their best players for affordable sums, and players kind of go into that club safe in the knowledge that their pathway to the top, the very top, won't be kiboshed by their club itself. So Schlotterbeck certainly falls into that category. Of course, there's always the move to Bayern Munich that could happen, but for me, it actually feels like it would make more sense for him to make that move to the Premier League, utilise his stature and his style, and I think he'd be very good at adapting to English football, especially especially with the amount of teams in the Premier League right now playing with 3 at the back. Big Nico Schlotterbeck. He's a player who likes to play in a 3-man defence, as we've spoken about, progressive in his play, and he wants to influence the build-up from that left-hand side. So that means when we look at the Premier League, in terms of those elite teams, yep, you got Chelsea. Will Man United move into that style of football? Possibly. But in terms of those elite teams, you know, the Liverpools, the Man Cities, or even Arsenal as well, it's a back 4 that they like to go for. That said, just underneath that, you've got the likes of Crystal Palace, Wolves, you've got the likes of Spurs, who all play a back 3, and it's Spurs who's one of 2 teams that quite possibly Schlotterbeck could go to in 2022 and fit in well. So let's talk Tottenham first, and then we'll go to a different European league as the second option for Nico. So Tottenham. Let's talk Tottenham, let's talk Antonio Conte, let's talk left-sided centre-backs, because although Ben Davies seems to be the apprentice at the moment, how long will that really last when Conte's talking about needing reinforcements as much as he is? And he's a manager who he likes progressive centre-backs. The reason he likes that is because he wants his wing-backs to be able to bomb on. So those players and at that position is so important. Schlotterbeck could be a player that he could develop into that role. He's done that in the past as well. Think of Bastoni at Inter Milan. He was a big part in his development. So he might look at that type of player that Schlotterbeck is and think he's perfect for Tottenham right now, and his ceiling is so high. The second option is exactly where Bastoni started his career, actually, Atalanta in Serie A. Now, you've got a very good chance here of Champions League football year in, year out, so it might be something that Schlotterbeck is excited about. It would mean an entirely different playing style and proposition for Schlotterbeck, but that's part of his development and could be an exciting move for him. The other thing, I think, is you look at someone like Goossens. Goossens, of course, has shown that there is a pathway from Serie A into that German national side. So the only question would be, really, is if Atalanta have got the money to shell out on the German. So why is Schlotterbeck a name for 2022? The reason being he's a left-footed centre-back, and they are very much in vogue right now, especially the young ones, those who can play out from the back, play cross-field passes with ease, dribble out of defence and disrupt opposition systems, are even more in demand. Schlotterbeck ticks all of those boxes. As John McKenzie said in the Scouted Football Handbook, Volume 12, Freiburg typically move their players on for affordable sums. And so with that in mind, there's a chance here for so many teams to pick up a centre-back at a bit of a bargain price, really. And we know, of course, Bayern Munich tend to hoover up the best young German players, typically once they've announced themselves on the Bundesliga stage, which is exactly what Schlotterbeck has done over the past 2 seasons. So any clubs looking to challenge the Bavarian Giants know they're going to be in for a fight, because he is so highly rated and has performed so well over the past 2 seasons. So whether it's Bayern Munich, another Champions League club, or if he wants to stay at Freiburg, provided they can offer European football, 2022 will be the year that the mainstream cottons on to Nico Schlotterbeck. So as I said at the start of this video, if you want to win a copy of the Scouted Football Handbook, we're giving away 2 in every video during this series. Why wouldn't you want one of these? All you've got to do is subscribe to this channel right now. Why wouldn't you do that anyway? Head over to Instagram, my Instagram, it's at Allcott, and you'll see a post regarding this video. All you got to do is follow myself, follow Scouted Football, and right underneath, I'll have one, Jim, and you're in with a chance of winning a Scouted Football Handbook. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on Schlotterbeck in the comments below, and which other players you think are going to take over in 2022. And I'll see you in the next installment.